Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to a long overdue review on this channel. It has been a minute since Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, but we are here early morning for YouTubers and probably everybody in Los Angeles on the West Coast. We are here for an early review of Star Trek Picard Season 3, and I think we just need to take care of some business first. I have not been abducted by aliens. I am not a changeling. Bon Jovi sucks. Bruce Springsteen sucks. Man Bun sucks. Kurtzman Trek sucks. But I liked Picard Season 3. I did. Hell has frozen over. The end is nigh. Hug your children. Watch out for Chinese balloons. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to go over the first episode. There will be probably spoilers from that. Other than that, there's a lot. But there's a lot I won't say because I don't want to spoil it for you. I'll just say I've seen more than one episode. I'll leave it at that. And welcome, everyone who is here in the chat. We will see if this remains on the channel. I think I'll just leave it up. But if not, if I change my mind later, there's always Nerdrotic Live. That's where all my previous Star Trek Picard reviews are. And I had always planned on seeing this through because Kurtzman Trek is garbage. I have STD PTSD from watching 3 seasons of STD. Didn't watch season 4. That was enough. My brain can only take so much. I did a lot of drugs in the 80s. STD might have been worse. But what's even worse than that is Picard Season 1 and 2. The Last Jedi of Star Trek. Destroyer of the franchises. And let's be real, we haven't had any good Star Trek since 2005. Now, JJ's movie I enjoyed at the time for what it was, some Elseworlds thing that I never took that seriously. Boy, I should have, because it paved the way for all this garbage. My mistake. Won't make it again. Jar Jar Abrams is the destroyer of franchises, and all of his little Padawans out there poisoning the creative pool out there. What they have done, I will quote Robert Meyer Burnett, are crimes against imagination. So if you haven't seen any Kurtzman Trek, you are much better off than anyone else. Because Picard Season 3 is the goodbye to the next generation crew that we never thought we'd get after the films and after, All Good Things is the best. It's the GOAT. I'm not going to say it's better than that, but it's certainly better than Nemesis. And I can easily say it's the best of the new Trek because, there's a giant chasm. There's this and shit. This is a different beast. So no, I haven't sipped down any Kurtzman Trek Kool-Aid. And quite frankly, what I think is going to happen, I hope it doesn't happen, but what I think is going to happen is we're going to have this, Star Trek Picard Season 3. It's an anomaly. And then we'll just go right back to Kurtzman garbage with Akiva Goldsman, how that guy keeps getting work. He got a gig at Warner Brothers. It's like, what are you, like, really? Dude. One Academy Award that he probably didn't deserve. Well, he hasn't. And he keeps getting work. What happened in this case, as Robert Meyer Burnett and Dave Cullen have said, is Terry Matalas, the former showrunner of 12 Monkeys, and he did work as a gun for hire on the awful Season 2, was given free reign with Picard Season 3. Kurtzman's name is on it as executive producer, and yes, it makes me cringe when I see his name and Akiva Goldsman's name and Christian Bale and all the people who were responsible for all the shite that came before. But he was given free reign. He was given free reign on Picard season 3, and he made something good. Is it the greatest thing ever made? No, it's not. But it's what it needed to be. It needed to be a Star Trek show. And I said that at the end of my reviews for Star Trek Discovery, for Picard. I would take mediocre Star Trek right now. I would say it's above mediocre. It's enjoyable. It's not going to make everybody happy. It's still trapped within the confines of Kurtzman Trek, but they try to shed that as best as humanly possible, including, I'll say, a couple of retcons of season 1 and 2 that I'm fine with because it needed to happen. If you're not a fan of the TNG movies, which I'm like, I'm so on them. I've always kind of seen them as episodes. I did like First Contact. I know it's lore shattering, but it's got a great soundtrack too. I hate Generations. Now, if I had a channel when Generations came out, I'd dedicate the whole damn thing to hating Generations because I don't like Generations. But it's a little above that. But the most important thing is having characters you like in a TV show. And they can hide a lot of the flaws. I've said this before. Some contrivances, some inconsistencies, some plot holes can all be covered up very nicely by characters you give a crap about and are rooting for. And this is the first new Trek that has that because they had to bring back the old TNG cast. And they work pretty well together. Everybody's older. I'm older. They're older. And they play into that, and there's some tongue-in-cheek, and there is a hell of a lot of fan service, and I'm totally okay with it. You want to know why? Because there isn't this incompetent matriarchy federation saying sheer effing hubris to Picard. Excuse me. I'm still in the morning here. Nervous drinking. And there's some subtle, I'll just say it, there's some subtle digs at Kurtzman Trek in this. There is. But the aesthetic is still there. Some people might not like it. It's pretty dark. Shot dark. There's dark moments, but it's not like you're not digging eyeballs out or just randomly severing heads. There is death. But it's not like over the top violent and murderous as the previous Trek was. And they really, there's crew members who act like crew members. It feels like Star Trek. Again, I would temper expectations as far as we are trapped in like a god-awful universe and somebody managed to I have a bad analogy. A blind squirrel finds an acorn once in a while, and occasionally the blind squirrel wanders off and another squirrel comes in and does something better with the acorn. It's terrible, but that's kind of what this is. Is it going to change the world? No. Is it going to change the direction of Star Trek? Only if they fire Alex Kurtzman and hire this guy, which I don't think they're going to do. I think best case scenario is they keep him on, but, he would have to have free reign. Terry would have to have free reign. It's hard to say. Kurtzman's MO is to steal valor, take credit, move on like it's his own without really giving a crap. And that's his ability to succeed in Hollywood is this guy will stab you in the back and sleep like a baby at night. That's what I've heard about him. That I've said this many times. That's how you succeed in Hollywood. unfortunately. Having principles is something Kurtzman doesn't have. So he'll come in, and I think this will be an anomaly, and Strange New Worlds is going to be run by Akiva Goldsman, so it'll suck. Everything else will suck. So you have this. You have this one last opportunity to say goodbye, not only to the TNG crew, to live-action Star Trek. This is it. Sorry to sound so bleak. Hopefully things will change. Hopefully this blows the doors off and Paramount, or ask Taylor Sheridan if they can fire Alex Kurtzman, because Taylor Sheridan runs Paramount right now. So yeah, I liked the season. The first episode is, it's just setting up. There is the overarching theme. There is mystery box, but I think it pays off. It pays off in a fun way, in a fun and satisfying way. Does it make the most sense in the world? Not really, but that's okay. I didn't care. I was just so happy to see Jonathan Frakes actually acting like Riker, and he steals the show. Jonathan Frakes freaking kills it. Absolutely kills it. And you know who else kills it? My favorite. I'm totally biased. Worf. Worf is epic in this. But the biggest change from crap Kurtzman Trek is the music. So they got rid of Jeff Russo, who's been like good on other things, but like not really on Star Trek. And they brought in, I believe it was the guy from 12 Monkeys, and it sounds like Jerry Goldsmith. Not exactly, but like he channeled his inner Jerry Goldsmith, kind of like what they should have done for The Mandalorian. Find somebody who can channel their inner John Williams, not some kooky music that doesn't sound like Star Wars at all. Yeah. I said that in the first episode. I said it afterwards, and it's a very mediocre show, by the way. I would rather watch Star Trek Picard Season 3 than The Mandalorian. Now, for sure. If it comes to The Mandalorian Season 3 or Picard Season 3, I'd rather watch Picard Season 3. But that's my choice. You can have yours. You're free to have yours. Again, welcome everybody who's here. I liked Star Trek Picard Season 3. And I'll probably give it a proper video review at some point. But I will do Picard Season 1 and 2. That would require watching them again. I have 20 minutes of it cut. It's just going to be way longer than that. So it'll happen before I retire from this channel. And I'm glad I saw something good before I see Ant-Man today. So I'm guessing maybe I'll get blown away by that. Don't think so, though. Don't think so. So the first episode is called The Next Generation. And Laris is in it. That's like the one holdover from Picard. Laris and her, okay, this is very specific and weird, and I don't care. Laris is mature hot in her Romulan makeup. I'm fine with that. Yeah. She's like an Irish Romulan. Not sure how that happens. But she's in it at the beginning, and then she's gone. Picard gets you've seen the clips, or maybe not. Picard gets a distress signal from Beverly Crusher on one of his old comm badges, and from the Enterprise D days. And it's coded specifically with, I'm blanking on the name now. There was a comic series with this name. I can't remember it. But there's a lot of little Easter eggs for hardcore Robert Meyer Burnett Star Trek fans out there to pick up on. Which is, and I didn't catch them all, but I got some. So he has to respond to that. And the story just gets going. They don't even mess around with, let's clean up some of the mess from the previous two. It's more like, let's just forget the previous two happened. We will mention them as little as possible, and we will try to fix the horrific, not even mistakes, just absolute disasters made by incompetent morons who were given a lot of money to play with a toy they didn't even care about, like Michael Chabon, Alex Kurtzman, and Akiva Goldsman. And that includes killing Picard, robot freaking Picard. And I've heard what Robert said, and there's been precedents, and it's a horrible storytelling decision that they had from the beginning. Michael Chabon, and Michael Chabon, who said he specifically wrote stuff to own the Republicans. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. He specifically wrote stuff to piss people off in Star Trek. Instead of making people think and bringing people together, he specifically, this Pulitzer Prize winning novelist is petty. Absolutely petty. And that's what Star Trek was. Killing Picard was stupid. There's really, unless you just pretend it doesn't happen, I will say they address it. And they do the best they can. But that was dumb. That was dumb. It's hard to get over. It's going to be hard for a lot of fans to get over. Terry Matalas is not in the best position here. And for that, he has my empathy. He does. Especially working for Kurtzman. That would suck. Oh, God. That'd be like working for Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, wait, there's no difference between Disney Star Wars and Kurtzman Trek. There really isn't. Bad leadership, treated the fans like absolute garbage. Members of the staff, I can't make this. I can. Members of the staff for both in the past have attacked fans, have orchestrated attacks against fans. Current employees at Lucasfilm have orchestrated attacks against fans, including yours truly. I don't know why I would deserve such an attack. I don't know why you would deserve such an attack. You just love Star Wars and Star Trek. It makes you evil for wanting good storytelling. What I would say Star Trek Picard, again, is a character-driven story, which that's the reason it's good. It's a character-driven story. So Picard gets the, yes, it's Robot Picard. He gets the distress signal, and he needs to find Beverly Crusher, who he hasn't seen in 20 years. She cut him off. Now, okay, another thing is they play it fast and loose with time. There's something, well, I'll tell you later, but there's something that happens. You're going to go, I don't have X-Ray Girl here, but the math isn't, it just doesn't seem right to me. We'll get into that. So he takes off, and he calls what he should have done in the first episode of the first season with a much more competent writer, Riker, for help. Not a bunch of strangers who we've never heard of who are all bisexual. Or they live in space San Bernardino. Although she's back. Raffi's back. We'll talk about that. And Riker shows up, and he's effing Riker. Now, they're in that bar, 10 forward, so I'm like, from season 2. But it's fine, because there's no Guinan lecturing us about BLM. I guess that's another thing I should address. Is it woke? Like the modern version of woke? Because people go, Star Trek was always woke. No, woke is a recent phenomenon. And it's about authoritarianism. It's about capitulating. No. There's moments, but no, it's a Star Trek show, and they go on a Star Trek adventure, and they don't have time to lecture people about pronouns or BLM because they're way past that stuff. They got bigger things to deal with. There is the whole dead naming thing with 7 of 9. I was assured that's not what the motivation was behind it. If people want to interpret it that way, they're free to do that. But that also, I'll just leave it alone. I don't want to spoil too much. If you choose to watch it, I would like you to be pleasantly surprised because you will have some pleasant surprises. This is something I've never experienced with I don't want to call it new Trek and new Trek. It's Kurtzman Trek. It is Kurtzman Trek. It's not new. It's if you want to call it anything, it's repurposed Trek. Repurposed Trek. But there are like moments of joy in this. Joy! I was like, what is this I'm feeling? I don't recognize this feeling while I'm watching Star Trek. I haven't had this feeling in so long. Joy. The ships look like freaking Star Trek ships. Yeah, and I don't know if the fan service is, forgive me, it's a bit of a fan hand job at times, and I'm totally okay with it. I'm totally okay with it. So as Picard travels out, he gets Picard, and they have to go to the USS Titan, which is a new Constitution class, the sexiest class, the best class. Sorry, Galaxy class fans. And there's some good jokes about that in the show. The Galaxy class starships are fine. They're fine. I like them. But Constitution class is king. Kirk is the best captain. Let's just that doesn't change. That doesn't change. Real quick, the cast of The Next Generation hasn't helped themselves over the past, and neither has Kurtzman with their acts on Twitter. I can't imagine DeForest Kelley going on Twitter and telling, well, when Texas was freezing and people were dying, I can't imagine DeForest Kelley going out and saying on Twitter, well, you get what you vote for, Republicans, like Marina Sirtis did, because that's what she did. OST, original soundtrack, OG Star Trek is the best. Still early for me. I'm only on my second cup of coffee. Forgive me. But yeah, she said that. And it's made it hard to root for them. It's hard to separate the art from the artist when the artists are so effing stupid. But she's not in it that much. she's in it. But it's primarily Picard, Riker, frickin' Worf. Geordi shows up. I'll leave it there. Others show up. So they go out to the Titan where we meet Shaw. Shaw is I can never pronounce his last name. I'm just going to say the guy from 12 Monkeys. It's Todd Stashwick or something. Sorry, Todd. I'm sorry. He's Captain Shaw of the USS Titan, and I freaking love this guy. He was great in 12 Monkeys. He's great in this. And 7 of 9 is on the ship as well. And they're going to be, they're setting up for Frontier Day. Frontier Day. So it's going to be a giant space parade of all the Federation ships. And they're getting ready for it. Riker has to give a speech. Picard has to give a speech. But then they get this distress call. So they, and Picard is a retired admiral. Riker has just given up command of the Titan recently. Still getting over the death of his son, which was... The death was... Okay, So in season 2, he died of a technological virus that could have been healed if synths hadn't been banned. It's fucking stupid, but they dealt with it the best they could. It's stupid how, like, Riker wouldn't have given a shit if something was banned to save his son. Just wouldn't have. And he would have gotten it handled. And he's got enough pull to get it handled. It's so dumb. But he's grieving the death of his son. He has a daughter, but he's been separated from Troy for a little while. And so he's a captain still without a chair. And they go on the Titan under the guise of an inspection for Frontier Day. It's for a ruse, so they can convince Shaw to warp out to the edge of Federation space where the distress call came from, and then steal a shuttle before Shaw knows what's up. He's a by-the-book guy, and when they tell him, hey, it's just an inspection, and you know, he asks, why do I want to go out to the edge of Federation space? They say, hey, you can flex your muscles, you know? There's a way to brag. And Shaw's like, no, we're not going to do it. So 7 of 9, when Shaw's asleep, decides to warp the ship out there anyway, because it's Picard, because it's Riker, and they take off. She gets busted. Shaw sticks around, though. I'm kind of rushing through this because this is just a setup episode. And they find Beverly Crusher's ship. Now, in the very beginning of the episode, she gets attacked. We don't know by what. But she gets attacked. She gets shot. She's injured. There's another person on her ship that she locks behind a door so that person doesn't get hurt. And she wipes out the attackers, barely. And she has been put in a stasis by the person she locked behind the door. They get on the ship, Riker and Picard. They do some investigation. They notice that the ashes from the evaporated being by Beverly Crusher are a little different. That comes up later, which I probably won't bring up now because it would be spoiling something. And they find Beverly in a stasis chamber, and Riker gets caught by the other guy who was on the ship. The other guy, well, it's pretty obvious from first look who that other guy is. I'll let you guess. But his name is Jack. And Picard convinces him to lower the phaser from Riker. And then Riker, like, punches him right in the face. That's great. Because, like, usually it's like, okay, we're all friends. You're like, no, I'm getting that phaser from you. That was good. The chemistry between Patrick Stewart, who still sounds very old like this. I'm trying to make it so in the bathroom 5 times a day. Hey, it's coming for all of us, all right? But Riker, like, I remember when John Frakes was brought in for that stupid cameo in season 1, when the space tentacles were coming out of the space butthole. Remember that? And he said, oh my God, I don't even know how to play this character anymore. I've been directing. I haven't acted. I don't even know. Well, something's changed because he is Riker. He is effing Riker, I tell you. I'm like, damn. I didn't know how much I missed this. So their chemistry is really good. And like, I would say Jonathan Frakes really brings out the best in a very disinterested Patrick Stewart. And let's not forget, I did a video on this, God, it seems like years ago, it was in the before times, before COVID, where I went over Patrick Stewart's article where he just blatantly admitted that, yeah, I came back to Star Trek, but I don't want to wear any uniforms. I don't want the cast and crew. I don't want any of that. So that was Patrick Stewart and Kurtzman, because he didn't give a crap. He'll just give him whatever he wants. And how well did that work out for you? Not well. It turns out It's an ensemble show. Turns out we like the crew. I don't think there's many. No, you know what? I wouldn't even want a Kirk solo film. Yeah, you heard me. I wouldn't even want that. No. I love Kirk. No way. No effing way. By the way, I recently saw William Shatner. He talked after I watched Wrath of Khan for the 200th time. It was great. And then he did about an hour or so Q&A. And I don't know if it was planned or not. Didn't feel planned. You want to know why? Because he's a pro. He's a stage actor. He's a pro and vibrant as hell. And like he's, 10 years older than Patrick Stewart, and he looks 10 years younger. So, hail William Shatner, the Shat. If you have a chance to see that, the tickets were $65. I think he's doing, I saw Indianapolis. If you're in the area, go. Absolutely go. If you're a Star Trek fan, you can't miss it. You can't miss it. All right, so Riker punches Jack in the face, and he's like, yeah, we're being trailed. We're being hunted. I don't know by what. I can't remember what the first species was. The first species was something, and then the next species to hunt them was Klingon, and then Federation officers were hunting them. So they don't know specifically what's hunting them at all. They just know they're being hunted, and they're at like some giant nebula. And then a ship shows up, and it's called the Shrike. And I know in the trailer it will remind you of Star Trek 09 and that big Romulan mining vessel. It's not. It's got more form than that. It's actually a pretty cool looking ship. And it makes, like there's callbacks to absolutely everything. Like you hear old school sound effects, a lot of like the Jerry Goldsmith, bong, that you get from the motion picture, from V'ger, the Cloud. You get that. Like you get it all. Like they're like, F it. This is it. It was made like this is it. It was made like a Star Trek fan got his claws into this and said, this is my one shot. It's my one shot. I'm swinging for the fences. And so the Shrike shows up. That's where the episode ends. Now, I know a lot of people, including yours truly, have seen the rest, and I wouldn't dream of spoiling things for you. I wouldn't dream it. Again, is this like 10 out of 10, absolute triumph? I don't know if I'd go that far. I do want to see it again, and I'll know then. There are times it like drags a little bit with the storyline. Okay, so Raffi, let's talk about the negatives. Raffi, I can't stand Raffi. I can't. And as always, it's nothing personal against the actress or the actor. It's nothing personal. Just talking about the role. She's from Space San Bernardino. She's a crackhead. That I can sympathize with. But I didn't do crack, but addiction. In the beginning, I was like, where's this going? By the second episode, totally guessed. So she's working for Starfleet Intelligence. She is on, you gotta admire this, the Metalis system. It's like, that is a set of testicles when you name a system after yourself in your show. I admire it when I enjoyed it. I probably would have trashed it if it was like, if this was shit, I would be all over this dude. But like, I was like, all right. So, and it looks like freaking Blade Runner or Coruscant, or Blade Runner. Coruscant just looks like Blade Runner. And it's fine. It's like an underworld. She is hunting down some information for Starfleet Intelligence. I imagine Section 31. and she's deep undercover, and it's it's messing with her addiction. She's holding back, but she's like part of her ruse is buying drugs that she's addicted to. So that's pretty tough on her. But, and I was gonna like say this is an outright negative. Like, nope. We don't need this. I don't want this. I could only imagine it was you had to have one holdover from the last season because they're really, other than Loris and Raffi, they're all gone. The drummer from Scott Pilgrim as the Borg Queen, not even referenced because it was fucking stupid. Everybody else gone. Was it? I forgot his name. Didn't Ramos? Was it Ramos? He stayed back to fight La Migra in the past. Yeah. So her storyline will seem like in the first episode, it's got a pretty good payoff. Oh, there is a decapitation. But it's a good one. It's a good one. The most important thing is if you remember back to Star Trek Discovery and how crappy the Klingons looked. Well, as you all know that you've seen Worf, they've just completely forgotten about that. Klingons look like Klingons. And they're just going to, we're not going to even talk about that. Worf looks great. Worf looks awesome. More negatives. Cussing. There is cussing. I don't like the cussing at all. I heard some was ad-libbed. Some is definitely not, especially in the first episode with Raffi. She says shit like 3 times in a row. It's like, no. Don't like it. Still don't like it. Won't like it in the future. It's shot much darker, but it's not filled with like tons of Dutch angles and lens flares blurring out half the screen. Those are toned down. I'm not going to say they don't exist, but they're toned. Like lens flares are freaking everywhere in special effects, but they don't exist. Hang on. I actually have some visual aid here. Get to you guys. I'm still fighting a cold. It's been a while. I probably should have done this earlier, but it's okay. I was too busy talking. There's Laris. Looking, that's a good looking lady right there. So it's still shot kind of dark, but they've cleaned it up a little bit. Hang on. There's a shot that... That's the shot I want. I want that. That's fine too. You just see a lot of old familiar faces. And 7 of 9, who was not treated well in season 1 and 2. Her and Raffi broken up. No more lesbian relationship. And if anybody gets mad, because people are going to get mad, that 2 lesbians broke up, you know shit about lesbians. Okay? What does a lesbian bring on a second date? A U-Haul truck. There you go. Thank you. I'm here all week. Try the veal. But 7 of 9 acts like 7 of 9. They have to deal with, I guess, when I say the wreckage of, the absolute wreckage of Kurtzman Trek Pass, they have to deal with crap from before. They do it as fast as they can. So, yeah, it's going to take, it's like you're going to go, I just got reminded of proof. You'll get mad. And, but yeah, this thing is member berries, fan service, maybe a little more than that, fan happy ending. And it's what it needed, I think. It's what it needed. But what it isn't is intersectional feminism, modern woke Hollywood. It's Star Trek, and it has Star Trek themes, but for the most part, it's a pretty traditional story. Ooh, did I say that? Now there's some more negatives. There's some maths that don't work out. If I told you what doesn't work out, I'd be spoiling something, but there's just some math. But what you can say is to yourself is, like Picard's 97 and he's running around here. In the future, we're going to live longer. We'll be healthier. I can totally see that, and especially since he's in a positronic robot body. And when I do my full review, I'll let you know some of the inconsistencies with that. But overall, I'd say it's what it needed to be. It's good. So we see our old friends there. That's them at dinner. This is where Shaw says no. He's great. And let's see if we can see the Shrike. And that's Jack. I'm sure many have guessed who he is. And that's the Shrike. Looks pretty dope. Looks pretty dope. Let's see if we can see the Titan. There it is. That's dope. I love it. I love that ship. Was it really this hard? Apparently it is, Hollywood. It's really hard to just take a template that you paid a lot of money for and used it. That's all. The Orville outright embarrassed Star Trek by being Star Trek more than Star Trek. What the hell is that? Oh, sorry. I have all my notifications on. It is so distracting. There we go. Where was I? Was it really that hard, Hollywood? Apparently it is. Disney Star Wars has owned Lucasfilm for over 10 years. And what did they manage to do? Make a couple of mediocre, bland shows surrounded by a bunch of garbage. Oh, the roofers are here. That's why I'm hearing a bunch of noise. And with Star Trek, it took management leaving the room to get something watchable. MCU is crashing and burning. I loved how in South Park, I don't know if anybody saw the last episode of South Park. Wow. That is surreal. Just watch it. When you hear some of your talking points, I don't care how they were used or what a context. When you hear them used in South Park, you're like, oh, wow. So, yeah, watch. It's called Cupid Yay. Oh, my God. I was laughing my ass off. That's old school South Park there. I digress. That ship is beautiful. It wasn't that hard. Make the ships look like freaking Star Trek. Make the music sound like effing Star Trek and bring characters that are from Star Trek. And if you want to make new ones, put them in the confines of Star Trek. And you know what helps with that? Knowing Star Trek. So Alex Kurtzman's like third generation, right? So he co-wrote a couple of movies with Jar Jar, but he had his buddy Roberto Orci, who was the real Star Trek fan. Still didn't, Into Darkness was shit. So I don't know what happened with Roberto Orci. I think he fell out, like yelled at some fans. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But then Brian Fuller was supposed to run Star Trek Discovery, who had worked on Star Trek before. But then he got usurped by Alex Kurtzman, who knows nothing about Star Trek, cares nothing about Star Trek, wants to use Star Trek as his platform. He's just a douchey TV exec. That's all this guy is a douchey Hollywood, woke Hollywood also ran. Like just your basic bitch Hollywood producer. That's what he is. He's also really petty dude. Hard to figure out. Don't really care. I have figured out that he is very bad at making television, particularly Star Trek. Go make your Hawaii Five-O's or Men Who Fell to Earth. I don't care. Stay the hell away from Star Trek. How Paramount keeps giving this guy money shows that the executives are functionally retarded. So I would say enjoy this. Again, enjoy this because this is probably it. Let's get to some super chats. I'm as shocked as you are, okay? I'm as shocked as you are. Because I heard Robert Meyer Burnett, and listen, I love RMB unconditionally. Dude's a real fan. He's a creative who understands fandom. You know how freaking rare that is? That's pretty rare. But like we've disagreed on lots of Marvel movies. Right, Robert? So I'm like, okay. But I know he hated Star Trek more than I did. We are both blocked by Star Trek on Paramount Plus on Twitter. I understand why I'm blocked. I do. I've said some pretty bad things about Alex Kurtzman that I'm not sorry for, and I will never take back. But Robert, who would block Robert? And I heard his RSVP was denied to the premiere. He went anyway. Attaboy. Yeah. So when I heard Dave Cullen chime in, hail Dave Cullen, I was like, okay. And the Popcast guys were chirping in my ear, too. And thanks to them, by the way, I was able to watch some episodes. I doubt Paramount would be happy about... Well, I doubt Alex. Paramount doesn't care. I mean, the suits don't know who the hell I am. Kurtzman might care. I don't, though. I really don't. So, yeah. I've seen it all. Episode 1 through 10. And I would say have fun. Allow yourself to have fun if you want. To the fans who are done with this, I would never tell you what to do. Ever. I don't have that kind of authority. I'm just a fan like you are. And if you're done, I don't blame you at all. There's been so much damage done. Going back and even giving a view to something with Kurtzman's name on it. I'll admit it feels like I'm enjoying a Bon Jovi song. It feels a little dirty. But knowing what I know, I can confirm what Robert said, what Dave has said, and many others have said, the Popcast guys. Kurtzman had nothing to do with this. Zero. His name's on it. Yes, it will help him. Yes, he'll probably take this. Even take I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the concept. There's a concept set up in this for future Trek. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a huge hit that he would take that concept for himself because that's what he does. He's a repurposing piece of shit. So I hope that doesn't happen. And we continue to get crappy Star Trek. I would tell you that's what was going to happen anyway, probably. Just pure speculation. Support what you like. Support what you like. Don't support what you like. But, I mean, Paramount Plus, I subscribe to it because I'm all into this Sheridan stuff now, and I know it's super basic, but I love it. Tulsa King is outstanding. I'm liking 1883. I am. I like Westerns. I'm a sucker for Westerns. So, yeah, it like maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't know. You got to do what you got to do. Do what you feel is right. But as I said on the live stream yesterday, I don't see any difference between Kurtzman Trek and Disney Star Wars. There is none. There is none. There is bad leadership, who is horrible to fans, that makes a bunch of crap, that has destroyed our modern mythology. Two of the best America had to offer, Star Wars and Star Trek. Yeah, there is a Jon Favreau in there, I guess, trying to do good. Dave Filoni is a company man. I wouldn't buy into his crap at all. And there is a Terry Matalas trying to do some good. There's no difference. I'm out on Star Wars. And it's just because I don't care. I don't care. At least this Star Trek moved things forward for the first time. That's been my biggest, my criticism with Enterprise. Before I knew anything about Star Trek Discovery, I'm freaking over prequels. I'm over them. I'm tired of messing around in previous timelines. Let's move some things forward. That's what this does. That's the big difference. Game of Thrones, you know, hated season 8, hated season 7. Loved the books. Thought it was a total disaster. House of the Dragon was good. Had to call it the way it is, you know. That's all we can do. Let's be honest. Not going to agree on everything all the time. That's not reality. And I don't demand your allegiance or loyalty, okay? Just hang out. Have fun. That's all we ask. All right, let's get to some soups. We got a new member, Miranda Sinistra. Weebs Against Simping has become a member. Thank you. Dad's Den of Pop Culture for $10. Do you think a TOS guy who only mildly enjoyed TNG would like this show? Yeah. I think so. Because I think it feels very much like a TNG Star Trek, like OG Star Trek movie. And you know, they repurpose some themes and things, but it's really done out of love. It's not done like Into Darkness, reversing sorry, I got sidetracked there. Stop it. Reversing Kirk and Spock from Star Trek 2, which is like the worst case of repurposing I have ever seen. No, it's done out of love. It's done out of love. And a lot of this is done out of love. You can feel it. Like with Kurtzman, it's done out of apathy, disdain, outright hate for Star Trek. You can feel the love. It doesn't hit all the time. And you're going to go, that's a little contrived. And that's a little convenient. But then, like, we're not looking for high art here. We're just looking, our expectations have been lowered to where if we just get something watchable and fun, I'm good. I'm good. Because this is done. I mean, like, again, this is the goodbye to the TNG crew we never thought we'd get. Post All Good Things, which is certainly still the best goodbye. But this one isn't bad. Does it wipe Kurtzman Trek clean if you've seen it? No, you can't. You've seen it. But it might put a smile on your face. Miranda Sinistra, Weebs Against Simping, has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships. Thank you. Cheers. Chris Lanier, welcome to the Gandalf level. Hail. You will get previews to Perry Chan videos. I don't know when the next one's. I got to ask him what he wants to do. We will be doing an Ant-Man review. I did not expect to like Picard season 3 more than I'm probably going to. You know, I can't say I haven't seen it, but Ant-Man could blow me away. It could. I could be like, the critics are high, because I think all the critics are high. But I don't know, man. Rooting on socialism and communism. I think I just did a video about that. I did. Yeah. That would be strange. It would be strange. I don't think even George Takai gets this late. Ian Carroll's for $4.99. No. Oh. There is an OG cast member. Makes a little cameo. See if you can catch it. JDA for $10. Hell hath frozen over. I watched Star Trek this morning and it was good. See? Watch it for yourself. When I watched the first episode, it was very much like House of the Dragon. It's like, we'll see. Oh, Raffi. Ugh. Oh. This show doesn't feel like it hates me. Oh, it doesn't feel like it hates Star Trek. Oh, wow. We went through an entire episode and a female admiral didn't chew out Picard once. People were pretty nice to each other. Nobody's eyes got gouged out. And as far as the overwhelming threat, yeah, it's not what you think it is. I'll just say that. I don't want to say too much. We'll get into spoilers later. We like at a later time. Hello, Gary. If that even is your real name, Hot Dice for $4.99. Well, if I spell it with 2 R's, then you know it's not me. Thank you. The Astro Nerd Boy for $5. The stench of modern Trek really makes me not want to spend money for this, but RMB suggests giving it support anyway for the metrics. Yeah, I mean, that's his suggestion. There is you can sign up for Paramount Plus for free right now. And then you could watch this, and then I'd watch Tulsa King. I'd take that week to watch this and Tulsa King. But it's up to you. Sawdog has been a member for 17 months. Hail, Gary, running the food pantry today. I'll be lurking. Love you, dude. Love you too. Cheers. Gary, please tell me they don't mess with Worf. No. So the Worf pacifist thing, don't even worry. That it's part of a gag, okay? It's part of a fucking gag. This is Worf. I want a freaking Worf TV show. Remember, we almost got a Worf TV show? But I don't want it run by anybody from Kurtzman Trek. If Terry was going to run it, okay. Worf is my favorite TNG character. And they'd be hearing it if they fucked him up. Like they did in the movies. I've said it before. He was a childhood hero. Yeah, they even make a kind of a gag about something from the movies. I don't know if they can undo the damage. Thank you, by the way, Bubba Doom 1 for being a member for 2 months. Cornelius Brunius for $5. I don't know if you can undo the damage that has already been done. You can't. I've watched it. I like this. It doesn't undo the damage. You see, both things can be true. We don't live in this binary world, all right? This isn't some abandonment of the cause. You know what it is? This is this is somebody trying to turn things around because they listened to the criticism. Isn't that what we want? Like, I didn't like Andor. Thought it was boring. But I can appreciate at least that, well, Disney decided to try on one thing 10 years in and give it to somebody who's actually creative. It's not my cup of tea. And that was probably the best effort that Disney can make. See, Disney's is a different beast than Paramount. Paramount, there's a bunch of factions everywhere, but there is no leader of Star Trek outside of Kurtzman. But there's no Star Trek executive. There's nobody checking canon or anything. It's just willy-nilly. They treat like Alex Kurtzman treats Star Trek like Hawaii Five-0 or like any other shit he does. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. But see, Star Trek isn't just a thing. It's niche. But Star Trek is a 10 and a mature 10. And you treat her like a mature 10. But that they didn't. Nope. Just takes her for granted. So while Alex Kurtzman was out on a business trip, somebody else swooped in. His name is Sancho, or Terry Matalas. And he made Star Trek happy. An analogy on Picard Season 3, we were dealt with one bad hand after the next. This time, we're dealt with pocket aces. Do we fold or invest $10 into the pot to see the flop turn a river of cards? Episode 1, gotta see the flop. Henry, back to play for $19.99. Thank you very much. $10. I don't think it's much. If you watch Star Trek Picard Season 3, Tulsa King, and yeah, I can recommend 1883. It's good. It's got great narration. My God. If you like America, do you like America? Then you'll like 1883. The narration is the best part. Andy Masterson, you were right on Twitter. You said the narration is the best part. You were right. But yeah, Tulsa King's the shit. Jack Posobiec yesterday picked out one scene and called it woke, but he completely ignored the scene where Sly is clowning pronouns. So I would just say stick to politics, Jackie boy, youngster. I promise I won't break down the geopoliticalness of the Ukraine and Russia, and you can have your takes. They're just bad. That's okay. That's the beauty of free speech. Hail, Gary. I really hope Picard Season 3 is good. I really do. But as the saying goes, 1,000 monkeys with 1,000 typewriters eventually make the work of Shakespeare. I'm going to mess up your name here. Show for 10 British pounds. Thank you. I appreciate that. And you're right. This is a broken clock is right twice a day. But the difference is the 1,000 monkeys were this guy named Terry Matalas and his writing staff from 12 Monkeys. So it's 12 monkeys, not 1,000 monkeys. And they came in and they made something good. They made something I liked. I am happy with. I'll tell you what, if this comes out on Blu-ray, on 4K, I'll buy it. I will. I'll buy it. This will be my send-off. It's a bunch of old fogies running around on a spaceship, and I freaking loved it, okay? And they lean into the old. They do. And like this is they did stuff they were avoiding for years. Like, well, I can't spoil one thing, but we don't care if our characters look older. We don't. Like if they brought back Buffy, right? Spike and Angel wouldn't be young vampires anymore. I don't give a shit. I mean, it would be terrible if they brought it back now, but it's just an example. Thundercats, ho! Sounds like Picard has stopped apologizing to the universe in season 3. Yep. No, he's way more Picard in this. He's got more energy. It's not like a fucking emo song, because that's the first two was like, everything sucks. We behead people. The Federation is filled with incompetent women. No, it's not that. We have competent women who act like women and just aren't like every time a woman walked on the frickin' bridge in Star Trek Discovery or Picard, they had a look on their face like somebody just farted. They just do. Like, I am girl boss. Fuck that shit. That's not here. Working with each other as a team, acting like Federation, like acting like Starfleet. There's one great line of one of the new crew members facing death. And he's like, he's got to give up some info. He's all, nope, because I'm Starfleet. It's like, yes! He's ready just to die right there. Captain Shaw is a pleasant surprise. Actually has okay, I know this is probably going to be the most surprising thing of all from something with Alex Kurtzman's name on it, so prepare yourself. A character arc. That's right, somebody has a character arc. Actually, a lot of people do. So it's surprising enough for there to be a character. There's a character arc. Yeah, I'm just leaving the ship up because it's pretty. It's prettier than me. So, yeah, let's just leave that up. That's fine. I'm fine with that. You have me at Gates McFadden, says Russell Hall for $2. Yeah, she's good. She's fine in this. She's good. Pick over Mando. Your eyes, your choice, Gary. Take her 610 for $2. Yeah, like Mando's not good. Mando is not good. Oh, cute little baby Yoda uses the Force to get the food and put it in his mouth. Oh, that's so cute. Boring. How is he back with Baby Yoda again if you didn't watch Boba Fett? What was the purpose of season 2? There was none. It's to sell Baby Yodas now. Little cutie Baby Yoda. Remember Baby Groot? They just repurposed Baby Groot to Baby Yoda. And Baby Yoda's going to get old. Yeah, no thanks. I don't care about the Filoni verse and Clone Wars or any of that shit. I don't. Tartakovsky's Clone Wars are far superior. Watch those instead. But you're just mucking around in a timeline that leads to Jake Skywalker and Rey Skywalker. So whatever happens in that universe goes right there. Goes right there. So that's why I like, at least this one, it's because I don't count any Kurtzman Trek at all. There's a future ahead until, of course, in the future, a special needs kid cries out for his mom and destroys all the dilithium and Federation. Oh, God, that's so bad. But nobody's watching Star Trek Discovery. Nobody rewatches those episodes. They're completely forgotten. The numbers are shit. And Netflix paid for most of it. But Taker 610, love you. Thank you. It's okay. You can choose whatever you like. But I'm just telling you why I'm out on Mando and Star Wars. Because all roads lead to Jake. Enoch Maman, abuser of Streamlabs for $5. I'm not surprised that Worf is still good. Not only was he a great character, but Michael Dorn is the only member of the TNG crew who isn't a piece of shit. You're right. And he's fantastic. He looks great. I love the gray. I think that looks I want a freaking 1/6 scale of that. I do. But yeah, the other crew members have been dipshits, like no doubt. Especially Marina Sirtis, who said that about my fellow Texans. That's right. Don't mess with Texas. I have exercised. I have exorcismed. I have exorcised my inner Californian. I went through a ritual, danced around a fire naked out in the backyard with a Texas flag tied around my neck. Singing Deep in the Heart of Texas. Yep. That's how I did it. Kurtzman Trek is ocular AIDS. Says Exalted Patriarch for $9.99. You are not wrong. It is imagination gonorrhea. It is ocular AIDS. Just got here. Was it bad? Says Ask Connor Matthews. No. It was not bad. It was not bad. I don't know if it's going to be for everybody. I mean, if you loathed the TNG movies, you might not like this because it's very much in that space, like the TNG movies. But I didn't like, other than Generations, I didn't hate the TNG movies. Nemesis is pretty bad too. But Insurrection was like an episode. I was fine with Insurrection. And First Contact, I liked. Unapologetically, I liked it. I mean, it's Action Picard swinging around with his tank top on. Whatever. Didn't care. So if I have to watch it, so if I haven't watched it, should I just watch season 3? Yes, Cody Griffin. Yes. If you haven't watched, don't watch any more. No. Do not watch any Kurtzman Trek except for this. Don't. And it will be a much better experience for you. Yeah, there'll be some references. You go, what? Don't worry. They're not important to the story. I promise you, they are not important to the story at all in any way, shape, or form. Any references they make. Is Patrick Stewart at least doing his job and playing Picard this time? Yeah, as best as he can. I mean, he's old. He's old. He sounds old. Not working through his mommy issues and a vanity project. No, that stuff has been ditched. Absolutely ditched. And it was a massive vanity project. And it was fucking narcissistic as hell, John Smith, for $5. Let's be real. That was some... You know what? Needing to have that kind of vanity project at his age shows that he has not worked through his mommy and daddy issues. Patrick Stewart. Still got some work to do, buddy. Needing that kind of a vanity project that late in life, bruh. That is some Hollywood queen shit. Is Picard an old robot? Not interested, says Shadow Squad Game. Yes, he is. I mean, he is. They try to deal with it as best as possible. They make it sound like, it's no thing. Ain't no thing. If that doesn't work for you, though, I mean, like I said, a lot of damage has been done. You know, I'm not going to blame you. But thank you, Shadow Squad Gaming, for the $2. I appreciate it. Cliff3188 has been a member for 9 months. Still hoping Kurtzman Trek is a dream coma fantasy. Yeah, I like I said, the best case scenario, and this is just the hoops we have to jump through if you're a fan, is the only Trek that counts post 2005 is this. This is your goodbye. This is it. If you're a Star Trek fan and you want to say goodbye to real live-action Trek with people you recognize and actually give a shit about, this is your one and only chance. Because it's, unless you don't want to watch it and you're like, all good things is good with me. Okay. That's cool. But if you've seen everything else or just seen the movies and weren't happy with Nemesis, this is the goodbye they should have had in Nemesis, I would say. Yes, Moo Butt for $1.99. You can just pretend not only is this the first season, this is the only season. Never watched Star Trek Picard. What is the connection between 7 of 9 to Picard TNG crew, or was it just coincidence? Nah, it was like really contrived and forced in Picard season 1 and 2. So you're just going to have to use your, like, maybe they met and became friends somewhere else. I'm not going to think about it too much. But Jerry Ryan is much better here because she's given more to work with, given some range, and she's not just, I mean, she's angry, but it's not angry because it's the world's fault. Like somebody figures out that, no, you got to work. You got to work to get respect. I'll just say that. You got to work to get respect. It just doesn't get thrown at you as much as however hard your life has been. So I thought that was dealt with pretty well. Fuck off, scams. How'd you get my number? Game Genie, welcome to the radicalized level. You are radical. Scherzo for $10. One, I watched the episode this morning after seeing your tweet, and I'm still a little cautious on it, as you should be. The first episode is just it's a primer, and I wasn't there yet either. The only thing I said at the end of the first episode was, wow, I didn't hate it. And that's what I said at the first episode of House of the Dragon. I'm like, I didn't hate it. That was it. A lot of member berries and a B plot that was unconnected with the A plot. Keep watching if you want. Season two started okay in my opinion, but went to crap in episode 3. I fear that repeating here for $5. It does not. And I would say to you, season 2 started familiar and then descended into this sludge of sewage made by run by morons. Yeah, Picard season 2 was as bad as season 1, if not worse. I haven't watched them back to back yet because quite frankly, I just need to be balanced before I see that, 3, also, Scherzo for $5 more says, 3, also, 0 explanation of the sudden reversal in Starfleet ship design back to the 23C aesthetics, plus calling it a refit of the Titan. Yeah, that's how they explain it. They basically say, we are repurposing some ships now. We're doing a refit. It was a way to sneak in a Constitution class. It was straight up fan service, and I'm okay with that. So they refit a 23rd century ship with 24th century stuff, but they just wanted to put the damn dish on it. That's all. And as a Constitution class, I call it Star Trek. I don't really like saying the original series. Star Trek fan, I'm okay with it. I am a Star Trek fan first. I am a Kirk, Spock, McCoy fan first. Always have been, always will be. 7 is bait to bring Gen X in to watch. Digital Demonic Davros for $2 Australian. I mean, I think the whole show's bait to bring Gen X to watch. Gen X is the last generation that really watches TV. Some millennials do, but Jerry still looks good. She's just like, she's not as annoying as she was in the first 2 seasons because everybody was annoying. Hated it. The Rand Man for $5. Someone who gives a damn about Trek might at least give it a send-off instead of a mercy flush. This is true, and it's not a mercy flush. It's a send-off. A mercy flush. That's a good. I like that. Mr. Tickle Trunk for 5 Canadian pesos. A lot of us keep joking that the South Park guys watch Midnight's Edge or maybe around them do LOL. Yeah, I don't know, Mr. Tickle Trunk. I mean, I would say, I wouldn't say Midnight's Edge exclusively. I'd say in our sphere, just based on that last episode, because they bring up the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, I've talked about that a couple times, and so has Az and Jeremy and the Critical Drinker and Mahler. So we brought that up a couple of times. But then they specifically said the Rings of Power, or they said, who needed a Lord of the Rings prequel? Now, in the context, it's a bunch of people who were shot by by the Cupid Yay and their anti-Semite arrows, which... Oh my God, when Cupid Yay, I can't even repeat what he says. I was pissing myself. It was so funny. And you might think, well, because I can't even tell you. You're a crazy man. You're just laughing right now. You just got to watch it. It's so damn funny because the end brings it home. You're like, what are they saying here? And the end brings it home. That's why Trey and Matt are fucking geniuses. Okay. There's so many layers to that episode that you almost like South Park is something you need to watch twice because you're like, what? But there are so many layers to that episode, but the end brings it home. You're like, oh my God, that was so good. Episode, it's season 26, episode 1 of South Park, Cupid Yay. Or Yee. He's called Yee. and it's a Cupid Cartman. It's an anti-Semitic Cupid Cartman. That's terrible and great all at once. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. In season 3 standalone episode where I can turn on a single episode and don't need context from future episodes? Or is it continuous storyline where it is basically an 8-hour long movie? It is it's a 10. It's 8. No, a couple of the episodes are an hour long. It's 10 episodes and it's a movie. And so they set something, but it's a movie. It's in like it's got a first. It's in 3 acts. We'll just say it's in 3 acts. But yes, it is serialized storytelling. It is serialized storytelling. Honestly, that didn't bother me. At first, it probably would, but I mean, this is their send off. This is it. Ain't no coming back for the TNG crew. This was it. Definitively it. They done. It's up to you. Robert says watch the first 40 minutes and you'll be hooked. I would say give it 3 episodes. Might be a lot to you. Minimum 2. Do you recommend reading Batman Year One? Says Thigs 93 for $5. Absolutely. One of my highest recommendations ever. Bird of Prey 5. Kapla, my friend, for $5. Expectations not met. Better than old Picard, but sure. But this was no 10 out of 10. Kapla. I agree. It's not a 10 out of 10. Have you seen, you've only seen 1 episode, right? Okay. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's not. I don't do grades. And The Godfather is a 10 out of 10. The Godfather Part 2 is a 10 out of 10. Raiders of the Lost Ark is a 10 out of 10. Wrath of Khan is a 10 out of 10. There ain't many 10 out of 10s. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is 11 out of 10. 11 out of 10. Yeah, I said it. I would put it at... I would say it's the... Is it? I have to watch it again before I say it's the best TNG movie, but I think it is. But it's light years better than anything you've seen since 2005. With the cuffs of Kurtzman Trek, it's still confined by certain things that just suck, that were, quite frankly, out of the creator's control. Do you need to watch the previous seasons to watch season 3? Ask Deaf Mute Studio for £5 No, you do not. And I recommend you do not. Do not. You might want to watch. No, I can't. I can't even say that. God dang it. Yeah. I can't say. It would totally. You know what? It's going to make you want to watch DS9 because I want to watch DS9 now. It's going to make you want to watch DS9. That's right. But yeah, I would say you probably have to watch a couple of TNG movies. Not Nemesis. And not Generations. I've said too much. Identity politics, wokeness, none that I saw. Red for $5. I can't say that. I'm thinking. Was there? I mean, because I know. Because when I hear it, I go, what the fuck? I don't recall doing that. There's some of that positive affirmation stuff, but it kind of feels earned in this. That's why that's the biggest problem I have with Kurtzman Trek. It's just like people walking up going, "You're amazing." No, wait, hang on.
You're amazing.
But they just like walked. You met them for the first time, and they just walked up to you and like, "Oh my God, you're so amazing." No, like this person has to like do something amazing. John W., welcome to the Geloja level. Thanks for being here for a month. Appreciate it. Just wanted to shout out my son's 4th birthday. Happy birthday! His name is Riker. John Luke W., a true future Trekker. Hail to you. Hail to you, kindred spirit. My son's middle name is Tiberius. That's right. That's right, Logan Tiberius. He's named after Wolverine and Captain Kirk. Hail, Gary, your videos are a bright light in the darkness, and boy, is it dark. LOL, peace, dude. Yeah, sorry my last one was a little dark, but, sometimes you gotta show the darkness a little bit, Steven. Thank you for the 5 British pounds. Again, apologize, I'm still fighting a little cold here. Yeah. Hey, my next video is going to be a review. It's going to be a review of Ant-Man, and I'm going to do a video on Picard. As well. But red, no. No, it's not like previous Kurtzman Trek, which is overt identity politics, wokeness, and intersectional feminism. People forget how good Frakes was. Can totally see him. Oh my God. Hang on. Somebody's at my front door. That was freaking loud. Because I didn't have my notifications. My apologies again. Where was I? People forget how good Frakes was. Can totally see them spinning this off into a Riker show after this. Let's face it, Stewart/Picard is really good looking. Is really looking his age these days. Yes, he is. And I would say Jonathan Frakes carried this show. Like this, it's an ensemble cast. Like you're following Picard, but he's he's not the main thing. I would say Frakes, they're all, it's terrible is this show is starring Patrick Stewart, Jerry Ryan, whoever plays Raffi, and whoever plays Jack, and then it's guest starring the rest of the cast. But they're in the whole, Jonathan Frakes is in the whole damn show. So they're guest stars, which I don't know, it's probably some stupid union shit or whatever. I don't care. They're there. Jonathan Frakes is and Michael Dorn are the MVPs. Jerry Ryan's not bad in it. I've always been a 7 or 9 fan. I mean, obviously boobs, but also the character. Holy Nuckfuts for $1.99. Hail Gary, what's your thoughts on the Pike show? I have none because it sucks. Next. You mean Strange New Worlds? It's Kurtzman Trek. Through and through. It's Akiva Goldsman. I didn't think enough to even do a live stream about it. I watched 4 episodes. I was like, yeah, this is the same shit. No thanks. Also, the Orville Trump episode had made me stop watching in season 3 or the Trump episode for a while. Why I wish Seth kept his politics out of the show. He was doing really good up till that point. Yeah, I knew that was coming, and I was like, oh, it's not a good idea. I even mentioned it to somebody. I'm like, that's not a good idea. I wouldn't do that, but they don't listen to me. They don't listen to me. Un momento. I have to cough. Hang on. I'm back. Okay. The Grizzly. Thank you, the Grizzly, for $10. I don't support people who hate me and who will use any success as support for their causes. That includes Kurtzman, Stewart, and Sirtis, and that is your prerogative. Curtis N for 5 Canadian pesos, and I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. The Starship is victory enough, says Steve Watson for 40 British pounds. Thank you very much. Yeah, that is pretty to look at. That's why I just kept it up. All right. We got some donations we got to do here. Hang on. Go over to the dough. I got to refresh it. I do believe that the Drinker will be talking about this with others today in about 3 hours. I will be discussing it on Friday Night Tights with Az and Chris Gore. I don't think anybody else cares, but they can go get pizza while we're talking about Star Trek. Chris Gore's joining us on Friday Night Tights tomorrow. Hail, Chris Gore! Balthazar Gelt for $5. Thoughts on the channel ER? Texan Night. What's ER? I don't know what the channel ER is. Let me know in the chat. I'll look in the chat. I don't know what ER is, so I have no thoughts. Pelagus Rex for $5. Sorry I missed so many of your shows. No worry. It's okay. Consider this a part of my penance. You don't need to apologize or pay penance. Watch when you can. It's cool. I understand. You have a life. I just appreciate you here. For $24.03. Very, very specific. Very, very specific. Perry Chan is a wizard, by the way. Cell Droid for $24.03. Can I pick up season 3 without the need to see the previous 2 seasons? Absolutely. That would be my recommendation. If you have not seen Kurtzman Trick, don't watch a second of it. Watch this. I mean, don't even accidentally look at the thumbnails. Go right to season 3 and go there. Watch this. And before you're tempted, go watch Tulsa King afterwards. Go watch some good Sylvester Stallone. Fish out of water gangster in Tulsa, Oklahoma, fighting a biker gang and getting laid a lot and just being a gangster. It's funny. It's good. I like it. El Berzadente for 2 $10 donations. P.S. Isn't reading amazing? Isn't reading amazing? You share some symbols on a sheet of paper and start hallucinating things described in the symbols. That's a hell of a drug. Personally, just like with Star Wars, Doctor Who, etc., I don't care about Trek anymore. It's just apathy now. I moved on to better things like Cole and Anach's Galaxy's Edge. Oh, okay, yes, Galaxy's Edge. Cole's Forgotten Ruin and Robillard's Billiards Hunter's Moon. All right. Hey, again, if you've been burned and you don't want to take the time, that's cool. That's cool. I got you. I'm not a salesman for Paramount Plus or this show. I'm just telling you I liked it. Yeah. No matter how good Picard would be now, Trek will always be Michael Burnham teaching Spock how to be a Vulcan. I know, that was bad. Lower decks and pure effing hubris. Just like Star Wars leads to Jake Skywalker and all T. Louis leads to Abby Smash. It's dead. It's dead. I got you, man. I read that backwards, but I got you. Because it comes in backwards. My apologies there, El Berzidente. Hot coffee for $10. First off, Dave Cullen is who turned me on to you. And I appreciate that because he gave this channel a shout out when we were just a little bitty channel. And I appreciate that. Second, Enterprise is great Star Trek. Lastly, check out Spellmonger by Terry Moncour on Audible. You might like it. I will check that out. Thanks. I don't hate Enterprise. I just don't like, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. Anaquamon for $20. Hiring bot farms. Oh, that might be from yesterday. That is from yesterday. There we go. All righty. I was like, I remember reading that. That I've read. All right. JDA, if you are paying for Walmart online, you get Paramount Plus for free. There you go. You can get Paramount Plus for free right now. I think that I don't know what the promo code is. I'm not selling shit. I don't sell shit for these people. It's totally up to you. I am just telling you, as a person who reviews things, my genuine thoughts. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. I agree with Curtis. I'll take the high C's for the first episode. There you go. I don't even think the show. Okay, I'm the wizard who knocks for $5. That maybe I don't know if the showrunner would have a problem. I don't want to speak, but for me, I'm like, however you see it, if you like it, then you'll probably come and support it in some way. That has always been my philosophy towards piracy, especially with comic books. Comic shop owners used to get so mad when people would pirate comics. I'm like, those are people who probably couldn't afford them at the time or wouldn't bother buying them at the time. But you know what? If they start picking them up and reading them for free, they're going to want the tangibility. They're like a percentage of them will start buying. So it's a marketing tool. It is a marketing tool that I think works. If you're making good stuff, first hit's free, kid. So I got no problem with it. I mean, it's completely unethical and it's stealing and you shouldn't do it. I guess that's what I'm supposed to say on YouTube. But I think it's a great marketing tool. Oh my God, no, you are not. Man of the half hour for $2. That you cannot be serious with that. Happy 20th anniversary to the Venture Brothers. No way. Really? Oh, well, if that's true, we get the finale this year. Just watched season 3, episode 1. I was like, what show is this? I actually like Michelle Hurd's character so far. Bring on episode 2. Yeah, Raffi. Andre Benson, she's tolerable in this show. She's just a character. She's not some. There's still Raffiness there, but she's not some condemning, judgmental. You know, like they bring back the sun thing a little bit, but they wrap it in a bow, and it's got nothing to do with the rest of the story. So yeah, I don't think she's not terrible in this at all. Yeah, Curtis said, I don't support people who hate me. Oh, I've read that one. Yeah, I get it. And don't. All right, we're going to wrap things up. I'll leave this on the channel for a little while. And we'll see how it does. If not, then I'll pull it and put it on Nerdrotic Live. We'll see how it does. I have a mathematical formula for what live streams stay and what go. And it's basically views. It's got to be a certain amount of views if they stay. If not, they get uploaded on the archive channel, which is Nerdrotic Live. Nerdrotic Live, where I often do these live TV reviews, but I wanted to, Picard, at least the first episode, the first one, I wanted to do on this channel. If I continue them, they will be on that channel. I'll do a review. I'll play it by ear. I'm sure. I think it'll probably end up being a lot like Andor, and that's just the way it. That's the way it is. Is like some people will watch this and really enjoy it, but so much damage has been done, and now Paramount Plus has this juggernaut called Taylor Sheridan, who just like shits out good or popular TV shows. Good, your mileage may vary on good, but and they're cheaper. They're a lot cheaper. I promise you, Star Trek Discovery Season 1 costs as much as all 5 seasons of Yellowstone. Maybe more. That's how expensive that series was. So the suits will wake up to this someday, these dumb MFers. Just got done with episode 1. It's an improvement. Picard is still low T. Riker kills it and is the real star of the show. Save Picard for when I'm on. Would love to talk to you about it with Chris. Hell yeah, dude. We'll get you on. That's Comics Division. Thanks, buddy. For $10. Yeah, we'll get you on. Well, hey, talk about it Friday, too. Talk about it Friday. Could Terry Matalas take over Strange New Worlds? It would be better for it. The Fell 369. It would be much better for it. If Terry Matalas took over Star Trek, there might be some hope. There might be some hope. Like I said, they set something up that would be good only if he ran it. Like, straight up. Not anybody else. Terry Matalas used to work on Star Trek. So I think he's the only writer I can really think of, unless they brought one on to Strange New Worlds where I wasn't paying attention that much. But at least up until Picard Season 2 and Star Trek, they hadn't brought on any former Star Trek writers. Remember what they did to Walter Mosley? Remember what they did to Walter Mosley? This is the kind of people we're dealing with. So, remember, we're getting a Star Trek Discovery Season 5 after this, which, so enjoy this while it lasts. Enjoy it. And if it's supported, maybe they offer Terry a deal and let him have carte blanche. But it can't be just like bringing Terry in to be a hired gun. He'd have to have carte blanche. Like, he'd be able to do whatever he wants. Is it a possibility? Sure. What's more likely to happen? Alex Kurtzman will steal his valor. Because that's what Hollywood does. Nice guys finish last. Honorability, integrity, principles are for the weak. That's why it's a little frustrating when we see these blowhards get on their soapboxes and tell us how to live when they're all a bunch of coke butt chugging hypocrites. Flaming hypocrites. Why can't they just order Uber Eats while the country's burning down? I'm perfectly safe behind my mansion here and my servants and my armed security when I need it. But nobody else should be allowed to protect themselves. That's the kind of BS we have to deal with all the time. So yeah. If they're all more like Anthony Hopkins, who just said, I'm an actor, I'm stupid, I don't know anything. That's all really we need to hear. Some, self-deprecating humility once in a while. But these are very important people because they pretend. All right, I'll see you guys next time. See you Friday with Chris Gore. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the Nerdrotic. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and a donation. I truly appreciate you. You help keep the lights on. Just making sure there isn't any more donations, and there isn't. All right, so have a good one, everybody. Make sure to tune in. Oh, what's this? We got Graham Paltikin. Remember, for 26 months, did they at least undo any of the events from season 1 and 2? They undo 2, I would say, big ones. And they can't undo another, which is the biggest one, which is Robot Picard. They try to do the best they can. But they undo a couple of things. Yes. Yes, they do. You'll just have to watch. And they completely ignore the rest. So, yeah. Thank you again. See you guys Friday. And yeah, make sure to tune in to The Drinker at 3 for open bar. I'm not going to be there. I'm just supporting my friend. I got to go see Ant-Man. So, ciao.